How to choose a second-hand car can only be given you, although we are 50,000 yuan to choose a car. But bros, you must leave some money to prepare. For most used cars, do a big maintenance when you get it. Change the oil and water, clean up the little bugs a little bit. This is normal. Don't knock on that I-ring. That's a little tiring. The first Infiniti QL recommends 16 models of universal sailing 50,000. Mercedes-Benz small displacement superchargers range from the earliest M2711AT to the latest M25420T. The integration is getting higher and higher. Technology is getting more sophisticated. But the most stable one has to be M274 from 14 to 19. China V emissions have no G. Without SG20, there are many thousands of kilometers without major repairs. It's fair to call it Mercedes' most durable. If it is equipped with a Planet M274, the cheapest one must be a 15-year-old Mercedes-Benz C. At present, used cars also have to sell you for 70 or 80,000 UA. Is there a cheaper option? Of course there is. That's the Infiniti QOL. He has 4 advantages with the Ray Alliance alone. First, the value preservation rate is not good. Second, the domestic and imported ones have almost no reduction except for the wheelbase. The third is a full set of Mercedes-Benz parts with M274 and 7T gear. You can completely replace the C200 with it. Fourth, the material is solid. The chassis is made of large aluminum alloy parts. Even the ingot beams are made of aluminum. This aluminum content is comparable to that of Jaguar. The 16 Corral models have a more important change point. That is, since 2016, QRIL has replaced the North American version of the M274A engine. Improved the traffic shaft problem. What about the improved 2.7? The incidence rate has been greatly reduced. Normal use is not a big problem. The 15-year-old QOL is the German version of the M274. The camshaft has hidden dangers. After all, it is a genuine Mercedes-Benz generation. It is difficult to confirm. Therefore, when the brothers choose a car, they can focus on whether the famous brand is 274A or 274,930. In terms of common diseases, it is almost the same as the Mercedes-Benz C in childhood. Water pump thermostat, fuel pipe, etc. In short, QOL is the same as the former Ying. Everything is fine, just not recognized. The second Cadillac TSL, I recommend 16 models. The Universal Hero 50,000 about. I push less AT. It's called the Family B, but in China, it is actually a performance car. After all, LTG has unlimited potential. There are people at 300 or 400 meters, so the overall car condition is not as good as it is every year. The ATS is like a replica of the BMW 190. Almost the same body size. The same suspension form, the same 50 to 50 conway ratio. This is the modern version that General Motors gave us. The 19,016 ATSL is considered a relatively violent generation. Compared with the 17 models, this 8AT gearbox has a small difference in gear shift logic. In the case of the fuel door, the second gear downshift limit of the 16 models is about 70 kilometers. The downshift limit of the 17 models is about 50 kilometers. That is to say, the 16 model gearbox program will be more aggressive. Of course, their hardware is the same, it's just that the software is different. If you choose a car, give priority to looking for a fashionable model. The fashion model has more electric ear radars than the entry-level technology model. Full leather seats, central control, large screen with hidden main grid. Therefore, fashion is the threshold for a T. But if you've come across one of the elite luxury leaders, then listen to me and just take it down. The high configuration of ATS is very, very small. Very rare to see. If there is a common problem, ATSL is actually quite abundant. First of all, the fuse of the description protection device must be unplugged for the 16 models. Otherwise, one day you will rub a small PR and your machine cover will be upturned, which is really wrong, and the rest is the failure of the P gear switch. The ventilation pipe of the curved box is broken. The exhaust straw screw is broken. The rear axle differential rang. Oil temperature sensor failure. The central control large screen is cracked, changing box shaking and so on. That sounds like a lot. But most of them are one pipe and one thread, or just buy an emotional thread online and install it. Not too much trouble. The only trouble is the back foot crab. Fortunately, there are perfect solutions now. For example, changing needle bearings, or directly applying LSD. The third Sigma Speed Pi, I recommend the 330T's Deluxe Edition of the 30 models. The General Navigation 50,000. The predecessor of Speed Pi was a famous Jingle Angry Burning Oil 3 kilograms Meitang Heirui and Heirui and Pat. Therefore, he is also considered an old friend of ours. The 18 Suppy is the third generation of the car series. The first generation was not introduced into the country. The second generation came in 2009 under the name Then it was changed back to the name Speed Pi when it was changed in 13 years. And from the 16th model, it is the new speed of M. Even strictly speaking, when Speed Pi first appeared in 2015, neither Meitang nor Pat are qualified to compete with him. After all, the two brothers are still more than 70 generations, and Speed Pi is already MQB plus 3 generations of 88. Suppy is equipped with a third generation 1A8 1.8T engine. The matching DJ380 is a dual clutch transmission. The car is 4 meters 8 long, wheelbase, 2 meters 8, standard Volkswagen B-Class configuration, but thanks to Skoda's lack of preservation. Therefore, the second-hand residual value of this Volkswagen B8 car of the same name is equivalent to the level of Meitang B7. It's still a bit costly. What about the general problem? Except for the 3/8 pump sections that are often available, except for the leaking thermostat. The common one is the abnormal sound of the sunroof, machine footpad aging, window lift button failure. The resonance of low-speed snakes is a common problem that can be solved well. In short, Supai is a low-cost Meitang substitute, but it has more advanced tail doors than Meitang, and the door umbrella of the same style as Rolls has its own characteristics.